Hello and welcome to Christmas Eve here on United Kingdom Talk. A longer show than usual, boys and girls, as this will be the last show until after Christmas now, okay? We won't have one Christmas Day, Boxing Day, and I shall be back with you probably next Thursday, okay? Next Thursday coming will be the next show after this one. So I'd like to clear up all the emails. We've got some other bits and pieces for you today. I shall be playing you a little bit of organ at the end of the show, and also a special Christmas wish from my best friend Ronny. He's sat in the studio and done a little Christmas message as well. It's all happening, you know, all happening. Hello to Sean, lovely Sean, how are you? I hope your health's all right. Who says, I never went out on one of those bendy buses you were talking about, so don't know how bad they were, but they did look daft. To my knowledge, they've been sold to other countries to be used, the bendy buses. I wonder I wonder what unfortunate country took those off our hands. Mind you, I mean, if it was a country with wider roads than what we have in London, then it would work a lot better. Those bendy buses were just not right for London. And Sean says, as for old Sean, I'll let you off. Oh, Sean. The thing is, the other Sean is like, I think he's 16. You know, so you're a bit older than that. So in comparison to a 16-year-old, you know, anyone over the age of 30 is practically ancient. And me, at 48, coming on 49, I should be dead. I think most people who are about 15 do not wish to reach the age of 50 for some reason. They want to be dead. So thanks for that. Hello to my good friend Anthony, who I haven't heard from a while. Hello, Anthony. Thanks for your little private message there. He says, I'm very tired, but looking forward to Christmas and hoping to go down to 3 days a week in the new year in your job. Is that because you want to, or is that because I know you work in a government department, don't you? Is that because you want to? I mean, if it's because you want to, I think it's wonderful. 3 days a week, you won't know what to do with yourself, Anthony. Don't end up down the pub, you know, or in betting shops. Please don't end up like that. He says, if it's any consolation, we were talking about speeding fines and things. I recently got a fine for stopping in a yellow box. He said, if it's any consolation, I recently got done for speeding, but I much prefer using the trains and cycling. I didn't know you had a car, Anthony. Have you got a car? What have you got? I bet it's not a run-of-the-mill car like... Is it a posh car? I bet it's not a run-of-the-mill car like my little Toyota Aygo, is it? 152,000 miles on that clock now and we're still plodding on. Rolling, 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 but the wheels on the bus go round and round. What was the other one? Rolling, rolling down the Addy. What's that one? I can't remember now. He says, I've been in your position and had my yellow box exit nicked by someone nipping in. Surely that will show up on the tape and is a defence. Oh, maybe so. But you know what, Anthony? I just think it's impossible to try and get anything back. You know, once the whole council government thing is very faceless now. You know, people having their pictures taken for this, that, and the other, and I don't see the point in trying. Even, I really don't. You know, I really don't. So I've sent the money, and that's it. He also says, I completely disagree about it being Blair's fault, Tony Blair's fault. It was just that he was in power when thus technology became very common. We're talking about speed cameras and things. Conservative Hammersmith and Fulham don't seem to have rushed to get rid of it. You're totally right, Anthony. No, they don't. And I don't... You see, this is the thing, you know, when these things come in, the opposing party, whoever it may be, may well oppose it. But once they're in, they don't take them away again, do they? Those cameras are still up there watching. Oh, I know you like the cameras. I hate them. You know, as you've said to me before, Anthony, the cameras have indeed been very useful when they've caught criminals. Look at those people doing all the looting and that back at the end of this year. You know, a lot of them have been caught on camera, haven't they? Good job they were there. But I don't like being filmed myself because I don't do anything wrong. I don't think I do anyway. You know, I don't like being filmed all the time. Except when I'm talking to you, of course. It's a bit of a contradiction, really, isn't it? sitting here talking to you, and yet I don't like being filmed, walking around, whatever, doing my business, whatever I'm doing. Don't like that. Hello to young Sean, who says, Chris, I understand your rant. I think that you're 60 or 65 pounds. Oh, hang on, I've read this, haven't I? Oh, I've read this. Sorry, Sean. I'm starting to repeat myself now. It's because you're sending messages on Facebook, Sean. Can you send it on the email, please? You've got the email address, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. What happens is that when I do a Facebook, I get an email as well, and I end up printing both off. And then I get confused of which I've read up and which I haven't. Oh, so confusing. Hello to our friend in Australia, in Orange in Australia, young Zach. Hello, Zach, who says, hi, Chris. Hearing your story about getting fined for something small makes me feel lucky to have dodged a parking fine during the Christmas rush when I know very well that I overstayed my welcome there. The parking warden people must have had as much trouble finding me as I had trying to find a car spot in a week before Christmas. He says, if you're still pretty angry about the whole thing, might I recommend a laugh for you? I saw this programme on our ABC One station in Australia called The Grumpy Guide to Christmas. It must be old because these things show up every now and then out here. And I know it is English because they mention Sainsbury's. They don't have Sainsbury's in Australia. And the people spoke in British accents. He says, I don't feel grumpy during Christmas, but I found the points of view very funny. You might like it too. Probably find it on iView. Oh, it's the BBC iPlayer. That's what you're thinking of. iView or something. Anyway, chat soon. And that's from young Zach, sent from his Windows iPhone. Are you on iPhone now, Zach? Hey, have you tried out FaceTime yet? We'll be able to have FaceTime conversations next, you and me. Fantastic. Here's another one from Sean. We're talking about snow machines. Sean says, snow machines don't make any mess. It's a foam solution that looks like snow. When it falls on the floor, it just dissolves. If it's a carpeted floor. If you use it in a room with laminated flooring or a dance floor, you'll have a bit of clearing up to do. Oh, it does make a mess, Sean. All that foam everywhere. It's like these people that have foam parties. They think it's so clean. And I don't think it is. Awful, dreadful mess everywhere, Sean. Right. Sorry, I'm just shuffling around my papers like a newsreader, aren't I? Now, look at this. Look at this. We were talking about train fares. Was it on Thursday's show? And Ray, hello, Ray, who's a lovely bloke, Ray. I worked for him for a couple of times. Ray wrote, and the annual train season ticket from Bracknell to London is £3,160. I mean, you can buy 4 or 5 cars for that. That's the annual season ticket from Bracknell to London is £3,160. And it's not far. It's only an hour's journey, you know. Just a touch over an hour's journey from Bracknell to London. £3,160. Dear me. James has sent in a few emails. James says, hi Chris, your Monday video YouTube... Oh, sorry, I dealt with that. That was a little thing that was wrong. Let's say, as for penalty notice, you never saw it years ago like you do now, as it's money making for the councils. Well, it is. They don't seem to care how they get their money now. Yes, some deserve the penalty notice if you're deliberately blocking the road. Yeah, agreed. Absolutely agreed. How many times have we sat behind a car or someone has stopped in a place and got out of the car in an awkward position, in effect blocking the road? There's no one to be seen. And yet, you know, if you park perhaps on a double yellow line where you're not supposed to be parking, but in a place where you're not blocking the road, why not, for God's sake? Why not? He says, but minor offences... and they let it go with a warning, yeah. I think this is a sign of the greed this country has come to. As for the people pointing the finger, would pay unfair charges. He says, everything is going up, and with the government trying to get money off us in every way and wanting us to do what they want us to do. I think it's worth complaining because sometimes I think it's not because these idiots don't want to listen. They just want to do what they want to do and sod the people and that elect them. Well, I agree. I agree, you know, you get all these promises. Whatever happened to that referendum on Europe we were all supposed to have? Never happened, did it? We were promised by Blair, everyone. Everyone promised us that, and it's never happened, has it? He says, I don't think... Oh, I'm going to sneeze. I think I'm going to sneeze. Oh. Oh, dear. Oh, God's sake. Oh, I nearly took off then. Did you see that? I nearly took off from my chair. You ever see a newsreader sneeze? I've never seen a newsreader sneeze. He says, I don't think change for the good would happen. And it undoes the good that our parents and grandparents fought for all those years ago. It makes me sad, and I can see why these protesters go on to fight for justice. But it either doesn't work, or it gets hijacked and goes wrong. You must be talking about the protesters outside St Paul's Cathedral. And that makes me sad to see that too. Glad to hear the church service you went to went okay. That was wonderful. The school carol service I went to at the Brompton Oratory in London. As for Jeremy Kyle, I don't like him. He's so fake and pokes fun at other people's misery. If this show is real, why the hell don't the people on it get professional help if they're serious enough instead of going on a show for fun? I don't understand why they go on there. You know, why on earth, and they're just so vile, some of these people. You know, how on earth people can go on a TV show and shout at their parents is just beyond me. Doesn't matter how bad their parents. And similarly, why on earth the parents who know, they must know, you know your own children, you must know what's going to happen. Why do you go on to these shows and allow your children to show? I just wouldn't go on. Would you? Is it just to be on the telly at all costs? And some of these people on there, the girls or the boys, they start opening their mouth, and quite frankly, I don't know why anyone would want to be with them after they've been on that programme. Awful, awful people. Awful people. Let's have a look here. Okay, one more email from James, who says, Hi Chris, I have used Quick Fit before. I had no other option as my car is a Motability car and they are not very helpful. I asked, this is when we were talking about Quick Fit the other day, you know, I had the problem and they tried to tell me I needed 4 tyres when I actually only needed 2. I didn't buy anything from them in the end. I asked for their mobile tyre fitting service because I don't find it easy getting around as I have chronic arthritis. I had a problem with one of my tyres and explained about my arthritis to them and said also I couldn't put on an emergency tyre as I can't do heavy lifting with my arthritis, and they wouldn't accept it until I made a complaint to Motability. And then the mobile tyre fitting service came out. And I don't know what the problem was. It was so easy. The bloke put a hydraulic jack under the car and it safely lifted the car up in the air for the bloke to take the wheel off, and then he put the wheel onto the machine which took off the broken tyre, put a new one on, he put the wheel back on, undid the jack, and off he was. I appreciate the guys doing this, and it is a big help for me as I would be lost without my car, and that's why I hate people that defraud benefits, people pretending to be disabled because they wouldn't like to be disabled, and especially one like mine when you're in pain or any of the effects that disability do people. So thanks very much there. And he also sends me a link to his little videos. He's doing some videos as well, aren't you, James? So thanks for that. If you want to have a look at James's videos, I think his username is James Bates 82. Okay, James Bates 82. I've already had a little look on there, James. You chatting about your life, and I love it, seeing how people are getting on and what they're up to. He says, I don't know how good they are, but feel free to have a look. They're all right. They're fine, James. You just keep doing those, and that's brilliant. Okay, okay, boys and girls, it's time now for something very special. My best friend Ron, you know, the one who's stuck up his own, you know, whatever. He has recorded a little Christmas message, so here it is, specially for you.
Hello. Many of you know who I am, but for the very few that don't, I'm Ron, Chris's best friend, the one that he always talks about in his shows and that many of his shows are about. I've come here today so that I can send you my own special Christmas message to each and every one of you, all 35 viewers. I was going to tell you a story about something called The Christmas Carol, but there's too many similarities between the main character Scrooge and Chris Reardon, unfortunately. Anyway, oh, and at the end of it, Chris doesn't give anything away. So, Anyway, it's Christmas Eve, the snow is falling, there's carol singers at the door, the cook is in the kitchen, cooking. There is a smell of Christmas cake in the air, brandy. The heating is on full as I'm in the studio, because normally it'll be -15. Apparently that's barbecue weather. I think you should look at, I think it was Friday the 8th of December's, Friday the 9th of December's UK United Kingdom talk show, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. Anyway, my message is Christmas is a wonderful time of year for one to be with one's friends and one's family, to celebrate the birth of Jesus. Unlike that other event in about 4 months' time when my lot, the Jews, get blamed for the other major event in his life. But anyway, back to today. I can hear jingle bells in the distance and a ho, ho, ho.
Ho, ho, ho.
No, not that sort of ho, the one calling for business outside. So Santa must be on his way. So I'm just going to say a very Merry Christmas to one and all. Thank you.
There we are, a little Christmas message from my friend Ron. He'll be back right at the end of the show just for a little bit more. Christmas is just around the corner now, of course, Christmas Eve. If you're a young person, you must be wondering where Santa Claus is going to bring for you this year. My memories of Christmas, I have so many of them, all of them wonderful. I had, as a lot of children will tell you, the best parents in the world. Mum and Dad no longer with us. Dad died in 1996, Mum died in 2000. But those memories really are something else. There's a couple of things I remember in particular. One is the very first time I went to midnight mass at our local church. We lived in Roehampton, St Joseph's Church in Roehampton. And I got up all bleary-eyed because I wasn't used to it. I'd gone to sleep for a little nap in the evening so that I'd be woken up and I'd come downstairs ready for mass. And I remember Mum was in the living room and there was Nanny Hayes and Dad. And Mum says to me, "Oh, you sure you want to go? You look very tired." And I said, "Yeah, I want to go." And on the telly was the film Half a Sixpence with Tommy Steele. I actually don't remember going to the church for some reason. They're just little bits and pieces when it's so long ago, isn't it? So that's one there. Other memories, my best ever Christmas present was an electric train set. When you opened the box and the smell of the electric train set hit you as the air came out of the box. That was my favourite ever Christmas present. I remember a shooting star. Shooting star, one Christmas night, I was on the balcony just looking out and this massive shooting star went across and there was a big bang as it landed. Never did find out anything else about that. I played the organ for midnight mass once at the convent just up Roehampton High Street. I remember that and so many other wonderful things. Boxing Day, we always spent at one of our aunts, either Auntie Shirley, who lived near sort of where was it they lived now? Sort of at Hemel Hempstead way. I can't remember the name of the place now. So they lived there, or Uncle Terry's, who lived in Walton-on-Thames. Just lovely times. I'm going to be spending Christmas at my sister's, as always, in Lincolnshire, and looking forward to seeing the children, Gary and Stacey. Stacey is now pregnant. She'll be having a little baby. I'm very excited to say. And one of the things they've done recently, and I'm going to show you a little picture here, you'll be fascinated by this, is a 4D scan of the baby. So here it is now. Have a little look at this. Isn't that wonderful? That's the baby inside Stacey's tummy. growing. And although you can only see a picture there, they actually, at the place where they do this scan, they actually do a little film, and you can see the baby moving and smiling and sticking its tongue out and all that. And when I go up to my sisters, I'm going to ask Gary if he can put that on a DVD, and I will try and show it to you in one of the shows. Isn't that just an amazing picture? See its little lips and its nose, its head. 21 weeks, that is. 21 weeks, beautiful picture. All right, so I'll try and get hold of that video as well. I'll also be going to see, of course, my niece Tracy and Ben. And I'm hoping to get the reaction I want to get from Tracy when she opens her Christmas present and finds the Barry Manilow ticket. I'm going to take her to see Barry Manilow in May. That's going to be her Christmas and birthday present because it was a little bit pricey. And I always try and give all the children the same value present. I think it's only fair. And my other nephew, Jimmy, has recently informed my sister that he no longer wants normal clothes. He is now a designer boy, apparently, so I'll be taking him out, hopefully Boxing Day, and spending a little bit of money on him buying designer clothes, that sort of thing for him. And for my sister's already knows what she's getting, and again, we'll be going out Boxing Day and doing that. I try and go out Boxing Day and buy these things. You get better value. It's not really, I mean, I still spend the same amount of money as I would have done anyway, but you'll get something better by going out just after Christmas rather than paying the full Christmas cost. Call me tight if you will. I call it sensible. All right? Finally today, boys and girls, just to wish you a very, very Merry Christmas. And I'm going to go out today by playing you a little thing on the organ from my friend Dan, who's requested me to play this. All right, Dan, especially for you, I'm going to give you a little tune on the organ. And at the end, something a bit odd to finish with. All right? Merry Christmas, boys and girls. If you want to contact me by email, we've got no more emails left. We've cleared the backlog. My email address is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Let's go downstairs and play a little bit of organ, shall we? Merry Christmas. I'll see you on Thursday. Bye-bye.
Jingle bells, Chris Reardon smells, Santa flew away.